All right. Well, it's a great morning here in Chicago, and
Yes, it is.
I've got my wonderful former alternate delegate, now a delegate, John Holder, and he's going
Good
to talk
morning.
about his experiences on the first day of the convention.
Hi, everyone. We got in Sunday, and there was a party for the entire convention with thousands and thousands and thousands of people there at the Navy Pier, which is a wonderful location here in Chicago. And I was there, just networking and mingling and having some really good food, the best of Chicago cuisine. And I ran into Jay Parmley, who's the executive director of the South Carolina Democratic Party, who told me that one of our delegates had not been able to make it. So I was promoted from alternate to delegate, which means I get to sit at the cool kids table.
Wow, yes, that is that. What a stroke of luck. And I
Yes, it was
hope
great.
everything's all right with Bill.
As far as I know, yeah. I'm
Okay,
replacing Representative Bill Clyburn.
okay, terrific,
Not
terrific.
sure why he didn't make it.
Okay, okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the first day.
Okay, well, we have an early delegation breakfast every morning with speakers. Yesterday was Congressman Ro Khanna from California.
Mhm,
Today we have multiple speakers, one of whom is Senator Cory Booker,
mhm.
um, who I have a connection with because he was one of my mother's students at Yale. So, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for him. We have some other speakers this morning and every day this week. So from about 9 to 3 or 4, they have what's called Dempalooza over at the McCormick Center, which is an exhibit hall, and there are seminars, networking opportunities. Here's how Democratic parties in different states do voter outreach or canvassing or new developments in technology and so forth, and just some fun stuff. I went to the movie In the Bubble with Jamie Harrison, which
Okay.
was a documentary about his Senate campaign against Lindsey Graham in 2020. And Jamie was there and answered questions, and we had a nice talk, and that was a really good experience. Then we went to the United Center, which is where the convention is being held, and security and transportation are an absolute nightmare.
Mm.
Um, so the United Center opens at 4, and the convention gavels in at about, I think, 5:30. So I left looking at the map and all the materials they gave us. Ordinarily, my hotel, which is the Hyatt Regency, is apparently about 15 minutes from the United Center. It took 2 hours. It took an hour to get back. And apparently, there was some sort of security concern. And a couple of the later buses were actually held in place. They couldn't move and they couldn't get off the bus. So there were people like my county chair, Nikita Jackson, who got there probably an hour, hour and a half after things had actually started. Hopefully, they've worked that out for today. Um, but once you got in there, it was great. Thousands of screaming people. If I'm a little hoarse, that's why. I'm also very sleep deprived. Um, so there were some great speakers, ending with President Biden, who it was unfortunately after midnight on the East Coast when he got done.
Oh.
So, I mean, he does tend to go on for a while, but, this time he's entitled to it. God bless him.
Mhm, mhm,
Jill Biden, Ashley Biden, their daughter, Hillary Clinton spoke,
mhm.
Alexandria Ocasio Cortez spoke, and we're a fair distance from the podium, so I can see better just looking up and watching the jumbotron than I can
Uh-huh.
actually see across the arena to the podium. But it's great to see all those people in person. Um, and there were a number of elected officials. There were people. There was a girl who spoke about having been sexually assaulted by her stepfather and becoming pregnant when she was 12.
God.
And the abortion bans that have been put in place as a result of the Dobbs decision overturning Roe versus Wade
Mhm.
If that had happened to her today, she would have been forced to carry the baby to term because her state won't allow her to have an abortion, even in that case.
Ah.
And there was a couple. They met working for the Obama campaign, and he developed ALS, and they were talking about his medical treatment and everything, and the cost of health care, and all of the things that the Democratic Party really cares about, and Donald Trump doesn't. And there were a lot of speakers about the economic recovery since COVID, job creation. Um, I mean, even absent COVID, Trump had the worst job creation record of any president since Herbert Hoover. And that's been a while. So it was all just, I'm still, somebody asked me a little while ago on Facebook what was my favorite moment. I said, I have to think about that because it's such a sensory overload moment that I have to take some
Yes.
time to process it. But it's all been great. It's all been great. And I came out of retirement to teach one class at Winthrop this semester, which is American Parties and Practical Politics. This is the first week of the semester. So my first class is Wednesday afternoon. I had hoped to do a webcast from the convention, but the doors don't open until 15 minutes after that class ends. So I will be doing a live webcast about the convention from the beautiful Hyatt Regency Hotel where you see me now. But and I'm not there to be rah-rah for Harris Walls because that's not my job as a professor. I'm just trying to let them see how a convention works. Here are the logistics, here's how you get here, here's what goes on behind the scenes. So that'll be a good experience for them. I hope to do some interviews for that today.
Well, you have kind of teased a little bit for those
Yes.
who don't know what your profession is,
Yes.
that you are a professor in political science.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
this
yes.
must be an experience for you that's combining a lot of what
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. I was a delegate to the Democratic Convention in 2000, which nominated Al Gore, but that was before school started for the fall, and that was before the technology that would have allowed me to do something like a Zoom presentation for the class. So this is the first time I've ever tried to combine, partisan political activism on the one hand, and then take off that hat, put on the political science professor hat. So it's logistically something I got to figure out, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm going to close with this last question because I know your day is really busy and moving fast. Mine is too, as a matter of fact, because I'm here in Chicago and have different things I'm going to cover. But
Wonderful.
what what are you sensing that once you go back home, uh,
Mm-hmm.
what work has to be done, or do you feel like, wow, we're on this high, we're on this roller coaster going up, and it's nothing but up here? Or do you see, oh well, we have to be a little wary and still put our pedal to the metal and do the work?
There is a level of excitement and enthusiasm here that I frankly do not believe would be here if President Biden had stayed in the race.
Yeah.
Because there are women, there are young women, there are people of color. I've watched Black girls walking around this convention in just an absolute state of ecstasy because somebody who looks like them is going to be nominated by this convention. And, I can say this as just another old white guy. Joe Biden's just another old white guy as far as that goes. And we've had
Yeah.
quite enough of those for a while. But nationally, I am very enthusiastic. I'm very optimistic about the election. South Carolina, don't
Yeah.
hold your breath.
Yeah.
But North Carolina is a swing state. Harris was leading by 2 points in North Carolina poll I just saw. Harris is it's tied in Georgia, I believe.
Mhm.
So, a lot of the places that Democrats have historically needed to win the White House are trending Democratic.
Mm.
And I'm looking forward to the national effect of that.
Great, great. Well, once again, John Holder, live here in Chicago at the Convention Center in a little bit later on today. We appreciate you giving us your time
Oh, you're
and
very
insight.
welcome. Looking forward
right.
to it all week.
Awesome.
Take care, Catherine.
All right, you too.